Hey, I want to, in this video, summarize um, this self-management business, since that's what the class is all about. And this is kind of a wrap-up. And what you're going to do here is, what you'll hear in this video is in fact an end of the session summary in terms of self-management. But it's also going to prompt you probably to go back and make further changes, potentially, in what you've already done. So if you don't see the need in making changes based on this, absolutely don't. But you may. And it's also going to help explain to you the procedure, particularly if you're having a problem. And actually, the beginning of this summary addresses that. So what are we saying here? Well, let's look at it. Self-management problems. What's the deal? Self-management problems occur, and what are we talking about here? A failure, right? Self-management problems often occur when a behavior that has an immediate positive consequence is reinforced, even though it leads to a negative long-term outcome. What in the world are you talking about, Dr. Dasher? Well, let's simplify it. Let's say your deal is junk food. Okay, so eating junk food for comfort. Eating junk food for comfort is just one of the many reasons people do stuff like that. So that's the short-term reinforcement, the comforting aspect of that. It's reinforced. The junk food eating is reinforced short-term, but it has long-term consequences, negative long-term consequences. In this case, junk food. What would be a long-term consequence? Weight gain and health problems. Maybe health problems related to weight gain. So the conflict is between immediate reward and the delayed negative consequence. And what's the result of that? It makes it difficult to change the behavior. I'm getting reinforced. So what do I got to deal with? I got to deal with the aspect of not participating in eating the junk food. And again, we're just using junk food as the example. It's an easy example to use because a lot of us do that. I do eat a lot of junk food, my goodness. So just bear in mind that if you are struggling with this, what you need to do is stop the potential for the reinforcement. How would you do that? Don't eat the junk food. Easy to say, hard to do. Self-management is the use of behavior modification strategies to change your behavior. It's a process that a person engages in controlling behaviors to influence the future occurrence of a controlled behavior. The controlling behaviors of self-management strategies and the controlled behavior is the target behavior to be modified. What in the world does all that mean? Well, those are my fancy words for it. It simply means, go back to what I told you a moment ago. Controlling behavior. What's the controlling behavior in junk food? Don't eat it. Take it out of your house. And then the consequences, the reinforcement won't be there, right? Because you're not doing it. Now, we mentioned that you don't have to do this all on your own. What you can do is create a social support mechanism. And we talked about that before. You may be trying to do this on your own. Okay. That's okay. It's self-management, right? But many of us need a support mechanism. Alcoholics Anonymous doesn't expect you to stop drinking on your own. You have a team that works with you 24/7, by the way. I'm not an alcoholic, but I'm a psychologist to know about these things. So it's okay in self-management to have a social support mechanism. You want to have significant others, and they can provide antecedents and or consequences to promote the occurrence of appropriate behavior. Social support can be beneficial as part of your management system, particularly if you have significant others involved, because they care and they can help prevent you from short-circuiting your management system, your self-management system. And then the end result of that is potentially a bigger chance of success. And then self-management strategies include goal setting. You've already seen that. Again, this is a summary. Self-monitoring. Antecedent manipulations, just to refresh your brain. Antecedents are the triggers, the junk foods in your house, etc. You have drawn up in your template a behavior contract, so you are expecting yourself, and others are expecting you if they're involved, to honor that contract. You need to arrange through your self-contained management system, or if you have significant others involved, you need to arrange reinforcement or punishment contingencies. Self-punishment. Premack principle. Okay, I was supposed to study 2 hours, and my reward for that was eating pizza. I didn't study but 45 minutes. No pizza. Again, social support can be a major part of that if you feel like you need it. And then finally, don't neglect self-instructions. Okay, what did I do wrong? Here's what I should have done instead. Or what did I do right? Which would then move it from self-condemnation to self-praise. Good job. You got through it today. You didn't mess it up like you have 2 days in a row. And then these minor items. Self-management programs typically are implemented in a sequence of steps. So these steps you should now be absolutely familiar with after 7 weeks of dealing with this program that hopefully you put together and are following. Make a commitment to change whatever the behavior is that you're trying to change. Make a commitment. Define the target behavior and define competing behaviors. Don't define little outlets. Hey, I can work this way and get around this. Set goals for the outcome of the management program that you've devised. Implement a self-monitoring plan. Now, look, this is a little more involved than you think it is. A self-monitoring plan. That means you got to be on your toes 24/7 almost to make sure that you're not falling into a pattern of, okay, well, I messed up yesterday, but I'll do better tomorrow. And then, shoot, messed up again today, and I'll do better tomorrow. But next thing you know, the whole thing is falling through. So implement a self-monitoring plan. Conduct a functional assessment of the antecedents. Functional assessments are basically what they say. What is this antecedent doing? I need to rid myself of this. You know what? You may have a major antecedent and you may have some minor things that support that. So you may have to remove the whole kit and caboodle of antecedents. So do a functional assessment. I might want to explore that a little bit right here with you. So let's poke around just a wee bit with this functional assessment, because that confuses a lot of people. Basically, by definition, it's a process used to evaluate a person's ability, and this comes from ABA, by the way, a person's ability to perform daily tasks and activities. Some of this you're going to think doesn't fit, but it really does. It's often used in healthcare and educational settings. And its aim is to understand how well someone can function in their environment and identify areas where support or intervention might be needed. And that's the part that you need to concentrate on. It can involve a lot of things. It depends on what the circumstances are. Cognitive skills, physical abilities, and the biggie, behavior patterns, behavioral functions. And then you have to view the antecedents and consequences of the target behavior and alternative behaviors. So this leads you to the mechanism of help. I mean, I can do what I can only do what I feel like I can do on my own, and then lean on somebody else to help me. So what am I doing? I'm doing a functional assessment of the antecedents and the consequences of the target behavior and alternative behaviors. Hope that makes sense to you. It's an evaluation. A functional assessment is an evaluation. In other words, I'm looking at what I'm doing to change the behavior that I'm interested in changing. And then I take the necessary steps to make sure my program is working, which is an evaluation, an assessment. Look back over where you were and where you're at the moment and see, hey, is this working or is this not working? Okay, select and implement self-management strategies. Again, we're summarizing here, so that should make perfect sense to you. I'm changing things on the fly. If you find out you're changing stuff constantly and a lot of stuff, then your plan originally wasn't a very good plan, right? Evaluate the change in your target behavior. Am I seeing a change? By the way, let me caution you, when you, and I should have mentioned this day one, we're not concerned with, from a grade standpoint, I'm not super concerned with this massive change. I just want to see that you implemented the plan, that you followed your plan, and this is the honor system, that you participated in the plan you came up with, and then I want you to evaluate in the end what it is you've done. I'll send out an email to that point. So if I haven't changed my target behavior, then I have to reevaluate the self-management strategies, excuse me, and I may need to redo the entire thing. Okay, don't let that scare you. I'm not telling you that the last 7 weeks were they a failure. Yeah, I'm sorry. That I expect you to go back to what you were doing and redo the whole thing in one day. I'm not saying that. What I want is an honest evaluation of whether or not you were successful. That will satisfy this assignment. And if you, I'm sorry, my bad. Get old, you get a frog in your throat, won't go away. If this is not accusatory, so don't take it the wrong way, but if you were lax in doing this assignment, and then you're just going to put some sort of a thing together and say, you know what, he won't know the difference. You're right. You're right, I won't, but you will. You will. You'll know that you didn't do it. So don't do that. It's maybe too late if you've been so busy you couldn't get it done. So I'm trusting you. I'm trusting you to do what you should have done. And we'll see how it goes. So, in the end, with your plan, if you weren't on a schedule like we are on, 7-week schedule, then I would ask you, if I were your the director or someone else working with you, I would say, here, implement your maintenance strategies. In the case of failure, I would say reevaluate the self-management strategies and readdress those. If you were successful, then I would say, good for you, implement your maintenance strategies so that you don't have a relapse. And then you'll be well on your way. You probably would even have success most immediately. So I know that other thing sounded like I was accusing you guys, but I wasn't. It's just that this is all done. It's like any assignment, any writing assignment. If you didn't put forth the effort, it'd probably show up. I can determine it a little bit maybe from what I see on your report. So to wrap this up, and I told you I'd send an email, and I will, to everyone. Be sure that at the end of that template you fill out the results of that, because that's what we're looking for, and that's what I'm looking for as far as your successes or failure in this, not grade wise, but did you get done what you wanted to do? A grade is independent of failure and success as far as your strategies are concerned. Just want to see that you did it. So here you go. Download it. Fill in the template. I would do it in pencil. And then, or what? Do it in pencil. Listen to me. This isn't 1975. Be able to correct it, which is in essence doing it in pencil. Type it in. Go back. Be able to edit it. That's what I'm saying. And then upload it into the assignment. I'm going to double check and make sure that that the assignment will allow you to submit a file. If it won't, then you can copy and paste it if that'll work for you. Either way. So there you have it. I hope this was informative for you. I realize that some of these explanations, some of these virtual lectures are a little bit sketchy for you. It's just the nature of the beast, because this is new territory for most of you. And I tried to simplify it as best I could. Basically, all you needed to do was look at that template, fill in the blanks based on what you've heard me explain to you, and from your textbook, because it's really good with how to do this step-by-step method. And then in the end, and do what you're putting in there, of course. And then in the end, see if your behavior changed. Pretty cool. All right. Hope the semester was good for you. Take care.